Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Tim. I am a full-time eBay reseller from Northwest Montana. I do over $200,000 a year in sales, buying my stuff from garage sales, thrift stores, estate sales, you name it, I am buying and selling. And on this channel, I live pack my orders and we talk about exactly what I'm picking up. So since it's live, it's a little bit clunky because, I'm going to be packing each individual order, and then I'll show you in the bottom exactly what we're buying, exactly what we sold it for, and talk a little bit about so maybe you can pick up the same things. Also, we do this live Monday through Thursday. We're actually changing the time, so we're going to be starting tomorrow. We're going to be starting this at 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. If you ever want to join into the live and talk, chat, ask some questions, distract me, there's a few people that have enjoyed getting in there in the live, and that's fun too. And then finally, for those who have been following me, this is very different. Yes, I look like I'm 12 now. We shaved the beard. The beard does not stick around year-round for me. It is a hunting thing that I start around October. I keep it through around Easter, and then it just disappears one day. And so yes, now it's a different look. And so I don't mean to scare anybody, but yes, this is the new look until hunting season next year. So anyway, we're gonna get going here. Before we get going, one little order of business. Monique, one of my viewers over in Australia, she asked, what is a box resizer? This is a box resizer. So you put it on the lip of the box. Maybe we'll resize something today. You put it on the lip of the box, you tighten this up, and then you use this perforator to get the edges there so that you can cut the exact size and get a nice fold there to like make a box smaller. I use it a lot on the bigger packs, and I was frustrated last time because we did lose this thing. Well, not lose it, but the screw got stripped, and so Amazon delivered one. I had to go find wherever they put it, which we did find it. That's there. It was just sitting on the side of my shed in a place I didn't look. So anyway, we're gonna get going here. Hopefully you had a good weekend of sales. We had a great weekend of sales. Well, I guess an average weekend of sales, I should say, because we do 12 a day, and so it's a little below average, I guess. So 31. We usually expect 36 sales. 31 sales for $1,283. A little lower average sale price, I think, in there, but it's not a bad weekend at all. And one more little thing. If you're watching this on the replay, about 45 minutes in, you're going to have to skip ahead about 10 minutes because I do this live and I do have to go take care of getting kids to school, which is part of why we're going to back this up an hour starting tomorrow. We're going to be starting at 8 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock. But that doesn't matter for most people on the replay. Just make sure you skip ahead when we get there, or it'll be awkward silence for you. Solomon boots. So we're going to get these out. And the first one I got is set. Beautiful. March 10th, these were listed. We got full price, 45 bucks, and they're heading out. I get a lot of these mountaineering boots up here. I get a lot of Solomons. I get a lot of Danners. On the other side. I do find some Arc'teryx. I find the Asics. I find, where are you? I find just about everything hiking and outdoor related. There they are. These ones were pretty clean. They're pretty nice. So these are the Solomons. And with the climate shield, let's double check. 10.5. I want to make sure I'm sending the right ones. These are 10.5 and 39173. Okay, got the right one. So there they are. Look like this. Anytime you get these cool, these mountaineering outdoor kind of boots, they do really well. The Solomons are a nice brand to look for. Find these all the time out and about at garage sales. As people upgrade, and maybe theirs is just a little bit dirty, I do run these straight through the wash. Maybe not the best for the washer because they do clunk around, but it's the easiest way I've found to just give things a quick clean. And yeah, they clean up really nice and they sell really nice. 45 bucks. So on something like this, I usually get in for around $10 at a garage sale. Hopefully you had some nice sales this weekend. We had some good sales over the weekend. For those who have been following along on the channel, I've been talking a lot about one sale that I was excited for. And honestly, I was very excited when we got there. There's an auction that runs in our neck of the woods. And that auction brings in the whole community around them to donate goods. It ends up being a lot like a church auction or church sale. because people just want to get rid of their stuff and support the local firehouse that it supports. I got to turn this off. So they do a rummage sale section in that auction, which is always really good to me. And this year at that rummage sale, two wonderful things happened. Number one, I'm going to get this taped up first, and then we're going to get that in the other bag. But number one, the wonderful thing that happened at that auction is there's a kid, I say kid, one of my competitors who's probably in his early 20s, who I see at garage sales all the time. The last 2 years I've gotten there, he has volunteered at the auction for the sole, at least what I think. This is my speculation. Maybe he's got ties to the auction that I don't know about, but he's volunteered to get first dibs because the volunteers get to shop about an hour early. And he last year he pulled out with like 2 carts full. Like he was like wheeling a wagon behind him as everybody else was coming in. And so he was not there. He did not volunteer this year. At least I did not see him. And there was stuff that he would have picked up that I know what he likes to buy. And so that was wonderful to see that he did not pick, and there was no other pickers in there that I knew that were volunteering. And then 2, all of the communication I saw showed that was supposed to have a 9 o'clock start time. But historically, they've always started at 8 o'clock. So, being the good resellers we are, 12, 13, 6, we showed up about an hour and a half early to do, or 2 hours early to do the preview of the actual auction, which we didn't stick around for the actual auction. There was not enough to keep me interested and stay there all day. Sweet, $12 to ship that guy. So since there wasn't enough to keep me interested, we just went to the rummage sale, which is what I usually do. Got in line for the rummage sale, or I was poking there about an hour and a half early just to kind of see, because I was thinking, oh, it starts at 9, we're going to get there 7:30, just kind of see what's going on, maybe go back and do the preview more. But lo and behold, there's already a couple gals in line that I know. And I say, what's going on? We're here super early. And they say, oh, no, they're starting at 8. They're going to let us in at 8. And so even though all the communication we saw, at least that I saw, at 9 o'clock, they let us in at 8 o'clock. Now, this is a sale that usually has a 30-person line. No joke. It's like a 30-person line to get in. By 8 o'clock, there were 5 people. Only 5 of us letting in. And that was insane. That was a huge deal for me, for everybody there. I know that people were grumbling. I know that people were like, wait a second, I thought this started at 9. So there must have been a break in the communication somewhere to where a lot of people showed up later than they had to. They thought they might have been getting there half an hour early, but they were actually a half an hour late. There's my dog's life. And so we crushed it. We did really, really well. Crushed it might be a overstatement. We'll make $400 or $500 probably off that one sale, which is really good. Picked up some homeschool material that should do really well. Maybe $100 a set for a couple sets. Picked up a good amount of books, a few old books that I've sold before, a few books scanned for Amazon. Picked up a bunch of military pants, 5 ounces. Picked up a bunch of military pants that are actually made in USA, the older ones, the right ones that are the OG 107, I want to say the pants are. They're like the button flies, and they'll get like $50 a pair on a bunch of pairs. And then I actually was kicking myself. I skipped on an Xbox with a bunch of games, which, wasn't great. It was a 360, and the games were all terrible. Like, it might have been a double up with a lot of work. And then what I'm kicking myself on is I did skip a Wii. I was just feeling lazy. It was probably a $50 buy-in to about $150. And for some reason I skipped it. I was just feeling lazy. Someone else grabbed it. It's whatever. But had a great weekend of sales. The Pricers. Good to see you, Pricers. I'm glad you had a great weekend of sales. We had a pretty good weekend of sales here too. What was the best thing that you sold this weekend? More netting from chairs? Or what did you sell this weekend? We got a Vitamix blender going out. This was probably one of the better sales of the day. So this one we sold for $180. Got full price on it. I always pick the Vitamix up when I see it. I'll even pick just the base up when I see it. And you can part these things out. So like even if it doesn't work, you can part out the actual blender and all that. Pretty decent money. So always looking for these guys. And let's see how we calculated shipping on this one. 14-inch cube that we're going to cut down. That should be about right. So we'll do that. Of course, I got this guy that's been sitting here forever. Get this right. That would be a stretch. All right, we'll get the 14-inch. But yes, that church sale was incredible, or I should say that rummage sale with the auction was incredible. And to get there and have the double whammy of my competitor who volunteers did not volunteer this time, and then also to see that there was some miscommunication, in my opinion, on the start time, and we had about 20 people less than we usually do. It was very nice. It was very, very nice. So we're gonna pack this guy up real pretty like. This thing's got to come off. I'm actually not convinced about this size either, but we're gonna try it. Because if I can get these side by side, I can cut this down. I might move up to the 16-inch cube. Yeah, I'm not super convinced that that's going to be enough padding. Got a nice Amazon box over there. I also can just go up to an 18-inch cube, which is not ideal because then it'll be a little bit more shipping, but let's pump it up to a 16 and see what that looks like. I think we'll cut this guy down. I'm not convinced the padding is going to be good enough on that one. And if we cut this down, it should look a little bit better for us. The pricer says Pokemon card for 550 bucks. That's not boring. I love Pokemon. The pricer sold a Pokemon card for 550, a lot of golf clubs, and a 2009 calendar for 55. 13 sales total is pretty good for me. Well, and when you're selling a $550 card, that brings your ASP up quite a bit. What was the card? I know minimal about Pokemon, but I know enough. I know my son is into whatever the set is that just came out, like not into it, like he just wants to rip packs. But the newest set, that Pokemon that just came out, is actually staying on the shelves. I mean, it's not as good as what's been coming out, but since it's we're finding it on the shelves, like he actually can buy a pack or two here or there for $5. And he's enjoyed ripping a few of them. Was it Zygarde or something like that? The Zygarde, I believe, is the card he's talking about. I can't keep up with the new Pokemon, but I do know enough about the old ones because I grew up with them. All right. I think I'm much more comfortable with that. We're going to go ahead and use the bigger box and cut it down. This guy is going to need a lot of bubble. These bigger packs just take a little bit more energy. They take a little bit more time, but for 180 bucks, I will gladly take the time to make sure this thing makes it safely. And yeah, we picked this guy up for $5 at a sale. Just a little sale that they were moving out of the apartment. They needed to move stuff really quickly. And this was hiding in a cabinet. The old blender that it had a thick layer of dust on it. You can tell they hadn't touched this thing in years. And so they were like, $5, it was meant to be yours, is what they told me. I think you were meant to have it, is what they said. So I said, that's wonderful. I'm glad to have it. And we'll get it a new home. So the Vitamix always hits. Doesn't matter the year, doesn't matter the model. But double check the year, double check the model, because sometimes, like, I'll pay up for these. Obviously, I would pay up to, 50, maybe even 75 bucks. Something like this. You can drop and make $100 bucks. But some models won't go for this. Has to be the right one. Let's see, 1999 Pokemon base set, Charizard Holo for, yeah, that's a good one. Shadowless first edition, because I know that makes a difference, and I know the graded Shadowless first editions of those, like those are the ones that hit for like $250,000 or more, right? And I have never had a card graded, never. never went down that path. The grading game is like the reselling game. It's a dirty game. It's a, yeah, that's a dirty game too. So I don't go down that path. I know some people that make some good money doing that, but I can't, I don't know enough to do that. Nor is it a niche I really want to learn. He said, nope, not the first edition. Okay. Yeah. But cards are a whole different story. You know, people will pay 90% on a card to make that 10% margin, things like that at a show. And so, like, if I ever actually hit a bunch of cards, if I ever actually got a big score on them, I would honestly probably drive, like, I'm talking a big score like someone's old childhood collection. I'd probably find a good card show myself and just drive and compare with a few different vendors and, you know, take the best offer, because it's not worth my time to learn the game when the margins for those kind of things are like at 10% for a lot of the big sellers. Okay, this, I pack these up together. No, we're going to pack that separate. Go inside there. That's actually what I did with the last binder I found. I took it to a card show and got a few different offers and went with the gal who was, she was nice to my kiddos. She knew what she was doing. She's playing the game. Gave them some free pack, that kind of thing. And she had the strongest offer. She offered $800 for a binder I found at a yard sale for, you know, I think I paid $75. That was last year. That's usually the way I play it. We're not big enough to have huge card shows, but we are big enough to have a card show that comes through. That she was actually the organizer. So that's how I drop those kind of things. All right, cool. That's going to work a lot better. And then this guy is just rubber. It don't matter. That's, I haven't shipped a full Vitamix in a while. Usually I ship these. Usually when I find the Vitamix, it's parted out because something's busted on it or this, that, the other. But this one was a little dirty, but still pretty nice. So there we go. That'll work well. All right. And then Monique, if you're listening, because you asked the question, I think you can see it all right from there. What we're going to do is on this box resizer, you asked what a box resizer is. This is just going to get cinched down at a certain level. And then we're going to put it on the edge, score the edges, then cut wherever that score is on the side, fold it in. And it creates a nice, a much sharper corner. Not only get your sizing dimensions right, but also creates a stronger box than if you were to just eyeball it like I had to do last week on some of those when mine was broken. So it's about right. I try to give it a little bit of room on the top still. So see, we're cinching it down there, and it shows us even the inches there, like exactly what we're cutting off. Then we're going to just put it on the edge. We're going to score the edge. Okay, so that's scored in there at that level. We're going to score each edge, and we'll cut the box to the right size and send this on its way. Okay, so each side has been scored. You grab a knife, right where that score mark is on every corner, goes up, up, goes up, and it goes up. And then finally, we're going to just take that score mark and we're going to fold in each flap. So now it is 4 inches less on the top. So it saves us on shipping, keeps it nice and clean on the corners, and keeps a steady, sturdy box to get to the buyer in one piece. Oh, speaking of getting to the buyer in one piece, I got a story on that. I got a buyer this morning over the weekend giving me trouble. I'm pretty sure they're just a scammer that's like new at the game. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm going to probably call their bluff. I'll talk about that in a second. Let's get this guy out first. Beautiful. The top layer on here. Nice. Probably one more big layer of the crush. Some people like using bigger bubbles for these. I try to keep my supplies as simple as possible, so I just crush it with the small bubble. But I know a guy, I've seen a guy before who does typewriters and things. He actually gets the bubbles that you can inflate. And I might invest in a roll of that too. That'd be perfect for this kind of a pack, because this is a little obnoxious. The last thing I want is this thing rolling around, moving around in there. We try to make it nice and tight, like a middle school egg drop. Beautiful. All right, so that folds in nice and tight. And we tape. And I'm gonna make sure this is taped up really nice. Look at the edges of the we want to tape that. Do another one. I like to tape these heavy ones up really well. About 2 more pieces, probably. One over the top. Beautiful. That's not going anywhere. Weight on that. Oh, round up to 16 pounds. And 17 on the sides. We got it down to 13. That changes my shipping too much. Not bad. I spend $1 more in shipping. So on a high dollar order like this, I'll go with whatever shipping service they usually selected. I could save $3 switching it to FedEx, which I actually could do, but they might be picky, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it there. 20 bucks. This is only going to Washington, that's why. So shipping was pretty cheap. I would expect it to be a lot more for a box like that, but 20 bucks got in for UPS ground. And of course they paid exact shipping because we calculated it. Now, shipping is something that scares a lot of resellers away from starting this game. People always tell me all the time, yeah, I just don't want to deal with the shipping. I'm like, well, I can ship this thing, and rather than get $5 at a garage sale, I'll get $180 by shipping it. Makes sense to me. A crazy buyer story. Yeah, I had a crazy buyer. There was the box of a 45 book set. It was like 5 volumes short of the full 50 volume set. And I end up getting a message from the buyer. It's a big 14 by 14 by 14 cube. That's probably like 50 pounds with all these books. And she messages me and says, hey, got the books, but it's missing volumes this, and this, which are not even the volumes that I had in the description. She knew she was buying it incomplete. She like even messaged me beforehand, like, you know, hey, I know it's not complete, but would you take this? Whatever. I think I told it for 150 bucks. Anyway, like, he's like, yeah, I'm missing more volumes, and the ones that are in my pictures that I obviously packed with it, like, I'm missing these ones from there. I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you, because literally I put them from my photo station directly into the box, and then I don't remove them. I just pad it up and it's good to go. So like literally There's literally no way this could happen. Like I can't even fathom it. Of course, I'm going crazy. I'm like, did I like slip him to the side as I resized it? Did I like, did I put him underneath something? Did I put him like? But she's saying 5 are missing from the box. So anyway, like we backed and forth a little bit. I was very polite, very professional, and then I, said, "Hey, look for a yellow sticker from USPS because like maybe something got damaged along the way." Oh no, there's nothing there. And then I, hey, feel free to open a return, blah blah blah. Trying to call on her bluff, whatever. And she's like, then finally it came out just this morning after response cell 2-4. Hallmark, let's get this. Finally it came out. Hey, would you be willing to do just a refund to my credit card of $46.38 or something, which is like this number divided by this number, like very exact. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. So pretty sure we got someone just fishing for a partial. They're a 1 feedback buyer, which doesn't matter. It might just be their first time on eBay. But I mean, it's one of those cases where if they were a more experienced buyer with more feedback, I legitimately could be going crazy, and I could have put these somewhere in my office that like I don't know about. That happens, and if this person had way more feedback and they were more experienced, and it's like you can tell they have a track record, sure, doesn't matter. Let's just do that refund. But on this one, it's not feeling right, and it is the perfect kind of thing to scam. Which there's really no, like eBay does not have scams, guys. Like once you're in the game, there's people out there that pull this kind of shenanigans. We're talking 1 out of every few thousand sales. So I guess my options are I play the game, give her $50 back, and then block her and move on with my life. But the option I'm probably going to go with is, hey, thanks, sorry, I want you to get exactly what you need. No worries at all. I'm sorry this is happening. Go ahead and open a refund. You can get you fully refunded. And then just call a bluff and see, okay, does she send it back? But what sucks in that situation is then you get eBay involved and it's a whole thing. But eBay's got the best protections out there. So as a top-rated seller, if it's not what I sent, I have the right to refund 50%, and eBay will have my back. And so I'll still make the money, and then I can resell whatever she does send me back. And we just get a case opened, and they figure it out. But trying to protect my account health first and not squabble over $50. So, but also knowing that this person is probably full of it, because I'm looking around my office now, I'm like, did I set them somewhere? Like, am I really going crazy? But nope. I'm pretty sure they made it to her. I'll respond to that after this stream today. I usually take care of all my customer orders or problems before I start the stream. But in this case, I'm like, I don't have time for this shenanigans. Put it off. All right, we got some cargo shorts from Carhartt. These are just a very small sale. We got $11. Probably a bins pickup, maybe a garage sale. Whenever they're the green MOS, they're going to make a little bit of money. I mean, $10 is $10. I think I got $11 for these. So they were listed for 7-8 months. July 23rd, 13th. Grab these guys out. There we are. A little longer than I like to go on sales like this. But these Carhartts still do all right. They're the right color. Getting into the right season. Probably start seeing some more shorts go here. But I do find myself becoming more and more of a clothing seller. I network and hang out with a lot of clothing sellers, and so I'm learning the game, and I'm like finding that garage sales and things like that. I am gravitating more and more to the clothes because, man, I'll tell you what, packing a blender, annoying, takes forever. Packing a jacket, just like that, it's gone. So I'll keep buying it all because I need to buy it all. I need to keep enough inventory. But tell you what, clothing is easy. Pack, easy, ship, easy, store. Not always easy to find. 10 by 9 by 3. Prices I do specifically say no partial refund, but I'm happy to accept their return and do a full refund. Exactly. I don't negotiate with terrorists, right? Like I don't negotiate when they wanna return something or they wanna play games or they wanna say this, that, the other. Like, yeah, return it. Return it, and I am glad to give you all of your money back. I'll sell it again, no worries at all. But the media gets a little dicey because we're talking about a $50 package. It's going to Florida, so it's going to be a $100 bill to get the return shipping, and then I'd have to pay the shipping there because it was going to be not as described. But if eBay steps in, as they should, their policy is to let me get 75% back or 50% back because I'm top rated. I can say, hey, this isn't the way I sent it. This isn't what I sent. It's missing books. And then I let eBay figure it out. So it should mitigate that. So I think I am going to call the bluff. I think I am going to go that route. Joe, good morning, Tim. Good morning, Tim, I think. Yes, it is Tim. Selling with Tim. And it's good to see you, Joe. I know in California, right? California, good to have you here at the channel. Glad you made it this morning. Bright and early there. It's probably what, 6:20, probably an hour behind us. That's the cost of loving the business. Yep, 100%. All right, we got a Furby. Now, if I wanted to, I could have played with this guy and spent the time to, you can take the skin off these things, you can mess with the gears, you can kind of poke around on the inside, and I'd say 95% of the time, probably a good estimate, you can get these working again. All you got to do, you start here and you skin the whole thing. I've done this before. There's a gear, you just move that gear back and forth, you move another gear back and forth, there's videos on it, and it probably would get working again. But if I'm going to get 65 bucks, what I get, 65 bucks, I don't have to do that shenanigans. And I can let someone else do that shenanigans and they'll get 90 bucks. Like they're saving 20 bucks, 20, 30 bucks because I don't have to do the shenanigans of opening it up, moving the gears around, doing this, that, the other. Honestly, we're just going to ship it out. They can deal with it. They can try to make it work again if they want to. And this one went fast. It was priced to go. It was definitely priced to go because the market on the big original ones like this is around that $90, even $100 range when they're working. But I would rather just not mess with it. Get it to someone who is going to mess with it. Picked this Furby up at a sale last summer. So we're finally digging into that storage unit. I'm trying to get as far as I can into that storage unit. And that storage unit is from last year's sales that I need to process. And this came from a lot. I bought, I think, 50 bucks for the whole lot. And I got another one going out today for 60 bucks. So we're already going to double our money. And then I got a couple more. So on this lot, probably making around 120 of the profit. Glad to see this Furby head out. Gotta be careful with the ears. Those can snap off or bend. I never had a Furby growing up. This is something I didn't get into. And I probably missed it by about 10 years. I'm a youngin'. I was born 91. But I'm not young enough that I can still say 90s. I can still... My birthday doesn't start with the 2000s, so I still got that on some people. But since I was born in 91, this is more the 80s. Children would have been more into this. But it was the tail end for me. I have here, 2005. So honestly, this is more of a Y2K model. Am I wrong? Were Furbies 2000s? Were they Y2K, or is I thought Furbies were 80s. I'm giving that a Google. I'm just purely curious. I could be wrong on that. I think they were more 80s. We're looking that up. Furby release date. I'm wrong. They are 90s. So this was actually 98 was the first of the 1998 Christmas season, selling out and demanding high prices. So I would have been 7. I would have been the perfect age. I would have been 7 when Furbies came out. So yeah, I guess they're more of a 90s toy too. So I am wrong. Although people born in the 80s would have also been into these. 12 by 10 by 8, 3 pounds. And this is a later Furby then, I guess, because Furby started in 1998. But Y2K is hitting. Maybe this person had this exact one, and they wanted to get it for themselves. They obviously had some kind of saved search on it. They might even be a reseller themselves, because I bet you could double your money if you poke around and make that thing work. I just wasn't going to spend the time, because it did sell instantly. Like it was an instant sale to that person, which usually indicates a good market price to get it moving, or an underpriced. Let's see. Cost of doing business at the end of the year. That $50 will be forgotten. Yes, and Joe says yes, sir. Yes, sir. Meaning California. Yep. Good to see you, Joe. From California. Hope the dogs are good. Hope your weekend of sales was good over there too. All right. Yeah. Lost Book of Herbal Remedies, Healing Power Plant Medicine. I think this is a bins pickup. I'm also working through a few books from the locker, so this is April 7th. Anything, you know, again, like, let's look at this title. The Herbal Medicine no, that's the wrong one. This is this title right here. The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. So, like, it's some kind of secret knowledge. It's hidden knowledge. It's secret. Herbal healing rather than medical healing. Like, whenever it's any of that kind of stuff, like, you know, that's the kind of stuff that sells, is when it's, you know, a little fringe, a little out there, a little, you know, not the norm. So these herbal healing books sometimes can do okay. You got to look them up. It's more about knowing the ones that don't do okay, like anything bottom line. The bottom line book of XYZ, always bad. But these more fringe ones, probably $1 into 23. And of course, if they're hitting eBay, these are my non-ISBN ones, or they're gated for me in Amazon. So, because I still, even though Amazon has been getting worse these days, we can talk a little bit about that, but I don't know if we got Amazon sellers here. I still send all my ISBNs to Amazon because I don't want to ever see them again. But the biggest changes I'm noticing with Amazon, and I got to do the research, but I'm pretty sure they're reducing the time you can have something sit in their warehouses. Rather than just pump the fees, they're actually just making you dispose of it or send it back to you at something like 300 days. Like, it's less than a year, something like that, that Amazon is changing. And that's going to be a big game changer for a lot of FBA sellers, because a lot of people have it in there for years paying pennies. And that's their whole business model, is like, once they get up in the search, then they're going to make a ton of money. I say a ton of money, like $4 or $5 from a book that they've had there for years. And Amazon's not playing that game anymore. They want to move things a little bit quicker. So maybe we'll see more stuff hit eBay. I'm not sure. Car and Locomotive Cyclopedia. This was another bins pickup sitting right on the top of a big, beautiful stack of new books. And, you know, I guess we call that the icing on the cake that I attacked before anybody else, and was able to make 29 bucks, probably in it for $1. This one would sell for more if we waited, but these sell so infrequently. Maybe waiting months to maybe get 40 bucks, 45 bucks. So I'm glad to take that offer, get it out for 29. Keep it pushing. Cool. So, saying hi to anybody that's hopping in the channel, maybe anybody that's never been here before. This is where we just live pack the eBay orders. We had a nice weekend of sales to pack up here today. I do this Monday through Thursday. Starting tomorrow, we're going to be starting at 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, so wherever that translates to you. I am pushing it back an hour from what I've been doing, mainly because I got this awkward break every day with the kids, where in about 15 minutes here, I'm going to have to take a stream break and awkwardly just leave to go get them to school and then come back and keep the show rolling. So that'll help me out to be able to facilitate them and not have a break in the middle. Another change I think we're going to do is we're going to actually start at 8 and we're going to have a hard cutoff of an hour, about an hour, 10 minutes, hour, 10 minutes of streaming, because I've got to get out to get to the bins and get to the post office, and I don't want to stick around or ever not be able to do that. So I think that's going to be the plan going forward, is we are going to keep this thing rolling. We're going to do, I've averaged about 50 minutes for a stream. So that hour, 10-minute cutoff should be good to get most packing days. Obviously, the Mondays, when we have 30-some orders, ain't going to work. Refill my tape. But for the most part, I think that's going to be a good change. And then on those days like today, when I have a crazy amount of orders, we will go ahead and just show and talk about the rest of it in the last 10 minutes, 14 by 13 by 3. So we can still learn a little bit, talk about what we sold, 13 by 3. And then I can deal with the rest of the packing later. But that would build some consistency. If we're starting at 8, it'll be 8 o'clock every single day. And I'll try to do it on the nose so that maybe we can get a few more people in here, a little more consistency. And then I can also get my kiddos to school without having to hop out and put that 15-minute break in the middle of the stream. Joe, you put on the channel that you put a comment that you list while you have this on in the background. Are you a postcard guy? I'm trying to remember. Do you have any good sales this weekend? We've got Super Mario 2 going out. So just a little cartridge. I throw these in a bubble mailer and they're just fine. The day one of these breaks is the day I continue sending them in bubble mailers because you save enough money. I've sent hundreds of these in bubble mailers, or no problem. Super Mario. There it is, 2. The only Mario that's like different than any other Mario. It's a weird one. If there's any nerds out there like me, this one plays so different from other Marios. And I want to say it was like a carbon copy of another game, like bit for bit, that they shot out and just put the Mario skin on it. I'm trying to remember. There's some kind of history behind this one. Doesn't matter. 12 bucks. Get it out the door, make a little money. So, this is the pearl. So we're going to go 6 ounces. Out. Probably the next pack, but I'm actually quite happy with where our format's landing on this channel. I was wondering if this is a format I want to keep up, but I think it is. So we are 17, 18 episodes in to doing this thing. Getting a lot of good feedback, so we're going to keep it up. We're going to try the time change and see if that can bring some more people in. I'm also might be pushing out to a few socials, see if we can actually get this thing grown. I haven't really pushed or advertised it at all because we didn't know what we're doing. But now that I feel we're getting a little groove, we're getting a few people in here, getting a lot of good feedback in the comments, I think it's time to maybe push this out and see if we can get a few more people joining the party in the mornings or tuning into our replays. So we'll see. This is Pearl, the United States and Japan, April 4th. Probably another bins pickup. Or it might have been sitting in the storage locker and we just threw it in. Oh. Is this April 4th of last year? April 4th of this? Let me double check that. Oh, so that's like a year old. So this has been sitting for a year. So yeah, this definitely didn't come from the bins. This came from an estate. There it is. Of, I believe this was a CBS photojournalist who did some stuff during the war. Their estate. It was a really cool estate. And we had some heavy hitters in there, but then we also had some bread and butter like this. That, you know, This is a big old bulk deal that we've already made some money on. And I think I paid $5 for it, which is more than I want to pay for a usual $17 sale. But it was, again, a big bulk kind of a thing. So a smaller sale, but a good one. War books are not always good, but war books that are, historical by like a general can be good. But all the Time Life junk and things like that, like it doesn't move. But this one took a year, but got $17 out of it. Actually, $15 on offer. Sorry, we got $15 on offer. It didn't show on my screen. All right, we got some Zamberlins. If these were men's, we'd look at double the price. But of course, women's don't do as well on eBay. Women's work and hiking boots just don't do as well in general. But a brand like Zamberlan is going to be really, really good. And they move pretty quick. Excuse me. I get talking for so long and then I get a little some in my throat. All right, we got April 9th. These were listed, so it only took 4 days. I do believe they sold on offer for $50. My policy is if it's over $30, I usually throw it in a bag or a box. And since this is over $30 and it's women's, some reason women like a better presentation. I don't know. We're gonna throw it in a box still. Even though they are hiking boots and don't need it. I listed a ton on that day. I was like a 30 boot listing day. It's gonna be way down here. Cool. We'll check. And then these are them. These are the only 41s I have. Awesome. So a little pro tip on the Zamberlins. Little pro tip. The black label here is completely shot. There's no sizing at all on the black label because like this, sweating things over time, you cannot see the sizing anymore, even though like it's a crisp, nice copy. But go in under the insole. Zamberlan will sometimes put the sizing right there on the insole itself. And so these were sized at 41 on the insole. And so then that converts to women's. Just use their little chart. You can convert it. I have a policy that I like to follow that for any shoes or boots that are going to be under around $75, like if they're even these pair, if there is no sizing and I can't read a size label and I can't know for sure, I'm usually passing. This I might have made an exception because $50 is quite nice and they're in really nice condition. So I can size them up and kind of guess, but sizing boots on my own, I don't love assuming that risk because you get a lot of returns. Even if you do everything right, someone will be like, oh, well, it's not quite right. Well, you're just not reading the sizing correctly. So, and I can size a boot, and then you can size a boot, and someone else can size a boot, and we're going to come to 3 different sizes depending on how our tape measures hit, how we're looking at it. So I usually will skip when there's no sizing on things because I don't want to deal with that. And there's no good, consistent way to like do that for buyers that's going to ever make everybody happy. But since we had the insole from Zamberlan, said 41, we're good to go. And one thing I've thought about doing, and I've not made the move, but I know some folks out who have tried this with varied success, is to get like a set of the different insoles. So you get like a size 8, a size 9, a size 10, a size 11. And then whenever you have one of those boots that's in good condition but a faded tag, you just stick the insoles in until one of them fits, and that's the right size. But the problem is a Zamberlan size 8, it's going to be different than an Ariat size 8. It's going to be different than a Birkenstock size 8. And so that's why I usually skip when they don't have the size. 14 by 10 by 6, we're looking at 4 pounds. All right. And Lost a little bit on shipping, but still not bad. Always in these for 10 bucks or less. I try not to overpay on the boots. Garage sales. I might pay up to $20 for a nice pair of women's Amberlins at a garage sale. Garage sale, I'll pay up to 50 bucks for a good pair of men's Amberlins. Huh. Leslie, good to have you here. So, Leslie, I know you, since you're a local, you see me more, and you see the beautiful beard that I grow during hunting season. I already announced at the beginning of the stream that this disappears. I'll say it again, that my hair disappears around Easter time every year. My wife was honestly getting tired of it, and I really don't care what my hair looks like. So I grow it out at hunting. It sticks around for the winter, and then I'll shave it off randomly when I start feeling like it, or my wife says, Tim, you got to get rid of that thing. And I say, yes, dear, I love you so much. And so that's what happened this time. Is she'll never say, she'll be like, oh, honey, you do whatever you want. It's fine. I don't want you to change it. Don't change it for me. And the whole time I know, oh, yeah, you want me to cut this thing off. So she was ready for it to go, and I could care less. So that was as far as we got this year. It's always fun to see how long I can get it, though. I think this is the longest I ever let it go. What we saw in the last few videos, that's the longest I've ever let the beard go before cutting it off. These are black. It was overtaking your body. See, that's a nice way of Leslie saying, oh, I didn't like it either. So 30 by 32 by 30. Again, a little more Costco arbitrage. Proceed at your own risk, because these can take forever to sell. I'm still selling through pajamas that I've had for 3 years from Costco. But I will only do the Costco stuff if it's absolutely hitting all the metrics and moving as fast as we need it to move. At least I try to. 12 by 9 by 3. But yes, I'll tell you what. It's a cold world out there. Without the hair, it's a cold world. When you step out the door in the morning, it just hits you in the face. So like we said at the beginning of the video, for anybody watching the replay, I do have to get the kids to school here soon. And so I think this is going to be, I'm going to do one more pack here, and then I'm going to run the kids over to school. We're going to do a little 10-minute stream break. So if you're watching the replay, just go skip ahead on the little replayer to where the strange packing man is talking again. And for anybody else hanging around here, stick around. I mean, it's going to be just a little 10-minute break. I promise I'll be back. We're going to finish this stream up. I got a lot more orders to pack, a lot more to do on this marathon of a Monday, which is also the reason we're changing the time. We're going to be changing the time back to 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time starting tomorrow, so that we can have a little more consistency of not having to leave in the middle of the stream. Did you do well at Creston? I'll talk about that again. So Leslie's asking if I did well at that auction I was talking about, or the rummage sale. Yes, did really, really well. And the kid who I was so worried about didn't volunteer. He volunteered last year. He volunteered the year before. I saw him wheel out a cart full of stuff in the last couple of years. So box 2, I got to go find these. But he did not show up this year. And I don't know, maybe he went off to college. Maybe he got another job. Maybe he just forgot about it or didn't see it. But that definitely helped. You could tell that there's stuff that I know he picks up that he did not pick up. Oh, gosh. I think I marked this box wrong. Try this back. So it was good to see that he didn't show up. And then I was able to pick up a ton of stuff. I only have one regret on, there was a Wii I passed on, which was about $100 profit as I'm looking back on it. And it was really just more laziness on my part, because I was eyeballing. I'm like, it's like $50, $75 profit. And then I started really doing the math. I'm like, well, actually it's better. And of course someone took it by then, which is fine. They should make some money. We're going to use an 8x8x8. But yeah, we picked up, I got military pants there that are the Right OG 107, I believe is the model number. They go about 50 bucks a pop. I got 3 or 4 pairs of that. I got some homeschooling material. That'll make about 100 bucks a pop for each one. I got a bunch of books, old books I've sold before, and then some old books I've not sold. A few Amazon books there. But I was estimating probably $400 to $500 of profit from that sale. So that was really, really nice. And then the other thing that happened, and I've already said this once, I'll say it again, but
the sale in Creston, they advertise that to start at they advertise it to start at 9 o'clock. Well, every year they've started at 8 o'clock. They start at 8 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock they start the auction stuff. But for whatever reason, like, I could not find a single piece of literature that they put out that said 8 o'clock start time. And so I show up for the preview, and then I go over there about 30 minutes, about 7:30, and we already got 2 people in line. And I say, hey, what's going on? You know, are they starting at 9? I thought that's what the start time was. And they said, oh, no. The ladies said they're going to let us in at 8. And so this line that's usually 30 people long for the Creston, or for the rummage sale over there, was only 5 people long by 8 o'clock when it started. So I think what happened is that everybody saw the 9 o'clock start time. Everyone just said, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And that was that. So, you know, about 8:30 is when a lot of other people started showing up. And of course, we're already done with the sale by 8:30, right? You know, like, you can't show up half an hour late. So I'm curious. I'm gonna ask, because there were a few people I saw I didn't get a chance to ask. You know, one gentleman who's I try not to dox people. I try to put names out there in case anybody cares. But one gentleman in our area who's a youth pastor, and he does you know, reselling here and there, and he likes to shop with his wife. But he would be one to show up early, and he showed up at like 8:15, 8:30. So I want to talk to him. I want to see like what was your perception on the communication? Like, did you know? 'Cause I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the whole community thought this thing was supposed to start at 9, and they actually started at 8. And so that's why we were able to get in there and do a little better than we probably would have done otherwise. I mean, we still would have done great. There was some stuff we picked up that no one else was going to pick up because it's just our niche. But you know, it was wonderful, wonderful. Anyway, like I said at the beginning, I do have some kids to get to school. I'm going to put a 15-minute timer up. I promise I will be back by the end of that 15-minute timer. And if anything, I'll be early. So I'm going to be back. I'm going to finish the stream right here where we're leaving off. I got probably about halfway through my orders. It's a marathon pack on these days. So if you're watching the replay, just skip ahead about 10 minutes. Try to find where the packing dude is talking again, and we'll pick it up with these Danners. So thanks, everybody. We'll be right back. And we are back. A little earlier than I expected, but yeah, this is why, welcome back everybody. This is why we're thinking of, we're gonna change starting tomorrow. This is our start time right now at about 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We're gonna do that going forward so that I don't have that awkward break in here, especially on the Mondays where we don't get the packing done. Ha! Scared you to death, sorry pricers. Don't mean to give you a heart attack. Danner Vital Boots. These are some camo insulated hunting boots. March, April. Let's find. Yes, I'm hoping with the new time. Glad you're still here too. I'm hoping with the new time we don't have to have that kind of awkward break, and we can keep this consistent to an hour long, even if the packs don't finish by the end of it. We'll just wrap it up at that hour mark. There's my Danners. Nice pair of Danners. I gotta say, these are clean. Usually don't find them this clean. These are men's size 8 with the Vital Realtree, Vital men's size 8. Yep, these are them. And yeah, when I find them this clean, it's a good day. Usually they're a little more beat up than this on the Danners. So on these modern Danners, and you can tell they're modern because they're not made in USA usually. Usually made in China. Let's see where these guys made. Vietnam, with the rubber outsoles and usually, you know, more of a fabric than leather. I won't pick up the modern Danners unless they're very clean, very good, because they just don't sell, you know, as everything gets outsourced and not made in the USA or made with cheaper materials or put together with glue. Like these soles are glued instead of stitched. They got to be very clean for me to consider even grabbing them. We're always looking for the old ones. We're looking for the good stuff. And yesterday, I just put up 20 pairs of boots. Probably about 10 pairs of Red Wings. Because we're getting that storage locker finally unloaded. And we just have to get all those up. All right, that'll be fine. A little bit of crushing with them. These are off. Might be sleeping the first 30 minutes, even if you're up. Yep, it is early. I know it's early, especially for people on the West Coast. Is an early way to do live. It's the only way I could think of how to do it, though. There will be the occasional weekend stream in the afternoon, but those will be spontaneous and not planned. Orders got to get out. For anybody else popping into the channel, if it's your first time here, welcome. Throw me a comment, throw me some kind of a chat if you are here live. Great to hear from people. Let's see. Let me know what's going on in your eBay store. I got my head screwed on straight now that I've just been out for a second. 4 pounds, 14 by 10 by 6. Out of here. We got a little Woolworths jacket. This was a bins pickup, I remember. Threw it in. When it's the Polar Tech fleece, you know, they're just bread and butter. Usually get about 20 bucks for them. And I'm not paying more than $1 at the bin. So it's a modern Woolrich. Of course, you know, just like a lot of things we talk about here, if it's the modern ones, just like the boots, usually don't do as well. But when they're the vintage, the right ones, the old stuff that people want, you get a little bit more. But when I'm targeting sales, I try to find the older neighborhoods, the older folks that might have better stuff. 3, 13, and 2. This is bins. Because you get to some of these younger people that, you know, one, they don't have as much money usually. not as nice stuff, but then they have all the more modern, like Amazon stuff. There, I don't want to see that when I'm pulling up to a sale. I want to see old, rusty, crusty things I can dig through, where the best stuff is hiding. Which this weekend, I'm trying to remember what all we bought. I went to about 5 or 6 sales after that one that we scored pretty good on, and still picked up a few things. Nothing crazy. A few notes. What did I pick up? Oh yeah, I picked up some Kui, a cute Kuiu jacket. Picked up some like a nice North Face expedition type of a jacket. They, you know, probably 50 to 80 bucks on that one. Picked up a camo backpack, Eberstock, I can't remember the exact name, but it's a good brand. And I did find, I got a little overexcited. It's not as great as I thought it was, but I found an Arc'teryx camo backpack with the rigid frame. And you know, I'll make money. I paid 20 bucks for it, but it's not as good as some of the Arc'teryx camo, like pants and jackets and things like that. That can go for hundreds, if not, you know, $1,000 for some of those crazy Arc'teryx camo, military issued. But this is a military issued Navy bag from Arc'teryx. Got a little, it's got quite an odor to it. It's actually kind of gross. I think someone used it for packing meat. So it might be one that I just send locally to auction and I don't want to deal with because of that. I don't know if I really want to take the time to really clean it up, but Arc'teryx camo stuff is amazing when you can find it. 11 by 8 by 6, and you're talking thousands. But that was just from a guy who does storage units and has a buy-sell trade store in town, and he's more of a hobbyist at this point. He brings a lot of his stuff to auction, but I've found a couple things from him, but it usually isn't great over where he's at. He's not like one of my storage unit contacts that'll call me up and say, hey, come take all of these books. We don't want them. Those are the ones I like. And yeah, it's really the people. I said this before, but it's the people that make the big scores. You want to know the people, you don't want to chase the product. You want to chase the people. Coin phrased from a friend and another group I'm in. Fireside books of folk songs, piano, guitar chords, and railroad music. So this was listed in December. Let's find this. I think just another bins pickup. Is so 3 months to sell, but probably $1 into 15. Nice little bread and butter going out here today. A lot of bread and butter going out here today. I've actually been doing a lot of local sales. A lot of Facebook Marketplace has been the last couple weeks as I'm getting the unit clear, my back stock cleared out. I had 4 KitchenAid mixers was the grand total. I've sold 2 of them, so I got 2 more I gotta get up. Guy came yesterday, picked it up, and he actually tried to sell me tree trimming services. That's what he does for a living. I actually might take him up on it. I have some trees that have not been trimmed in years, and it's definitely past time. I just don't know anything about that kind of stuff. They're huge old maples that like overtower the house, so they definitely need to be taken care of. I don't lose limbs or lose the trees right on our heads. I'm gonna add a little reinforcement to this box. I've had trouble with these breaking open, but it still definitely beats doing it this way than doing it in an actual cardboard box. So 3 pounds, going medium mail rate, $6 to pack that up. Yeah, comes to pick up a $120 KitchenAid and tries to sell me $600 trimming service for my tree. Actually, it's pretty inexpensive for the area, so I gotta look into them. I actually am gonna look them up. Talk to my wife and see if we want to get some trimming done. We both know it needs to happen. It's just something we've been putting off. It's not a sexy way to spend money, but probably an important way to spend money. Here's the other Furby that we sold. We sold the first one for $65. This one does sell for good. I mean, we're talking like $150 or so when it's new. This is obviously not new. It's been removed from the box and used, and we didn't spend the time to get it working. Again, I'd probably get around $90 for this guy if it was working condition, but we think that it's working condition. We just don't know, so we put it as parts not turning on because I'm not going to take the time to skin it and move the gears around. What I mean by that, if you miss the first part, you can take the skin off your Furbies, and they look really creepy, actually. Look like these like demonic robots. But you take the skin off. There's a few gears that you can like kind of move around, twist around. They just got to get moving again. And once they get moving again, you're usually in business. Yes, I want this size. You're usually in business once they're moving again. I would say well over 90% of the time, like 9 out of 10 Furbies are going to start working again when you start moving those parts. I just didn't want to take the time and energy to do that. And so usually when people buy these, they're doing it to flip themselves, to skin them, to move those parts and make sure they're working. Then they're going to relist it as like pristine condition in the box and probably sell it for $100, $120, make a little bit of money. And that's another gig you can do if you're trying to figure out stuff to buy and sell. You could become a Furby expert. You too could become a Furby expert. But I am not going to be that guy. I'm just going to ship it on to them so they can do that with their time. And I'll sell more old boots and books. All right. I think guy's going to fit perfectly just like that. I don't want to squish it, but I also want to make sure this box closes. We're going to have to trim a little bit off. A little more work than I wanted to do. But I do want to make it fit in that box. Bunching up a little bit too much, so I got to trim a little bit of this bubble off to make sure it does fit. And there we go. I want it to fit in the box so I don't have to crunch the box down. Don't have to crunch the Furby down. That ought to do it. There we go. And just hold the box in normal. Not moving in there. We'll bubble the box with some moisture barrier because last thing you want is this to get a little rain on it. Ruin the collector's box. Some things I moisture barrier because it's collectible. Some things I don't because it won't matter. I don't care if it gets wet. And some things I don't because I'm just being lazy. Let's be honest. All right. Here we go. Brush all around, and that Furby's off out the door. Want it tight so it doesn't move around, but I don't want it too tight that we're crushing that box. Nice. Furbies have been hidden for me. I always pick them up when they're $5 or less. I think, I'm trying to remember the only ones I don't pick up. There's some ones from McDonald's. The McDonald's Furbies are not worth your time. to pick up. And you can tell they'll actually say McDonald's Corporation, I believe, on them. But the rest of them, and you can tell the McDonald's one because they're a hard plastic toy rather than the soft plush with the robot interior. But the rest of them I will always pick up because, as you notice, these I didn't even have to get working, and they're still selling for $60 a pop. There we go. 12 by 10 by 8, 2 pounds. $19.99. Got a text. Got to check on my text in the morning because are you in your shop? Yes, sir. Uh-oh, we might have a guest. We'll see. I got a text from a friend asking if I'm in my shop. So we'll see if we have a guest on the channel. Tony Llamas. We got some Western boots. I took a low offer on these. When did you start live streaming on YouTube? When did I start live streaming on YouTube? I don't know if I know you or not. Personally, I have a few people that have come into the channel personally, but Tabe Alec asks, when did you start live streaming on YouTube? This is stream number 18, I believe. We're on a 30 stream experiment to pack orders live. These are my eBay orders that I do. I'm a full-time reseller from Northwest Montana. I do over $200,000 a year in sales. And I've had people in my life say, hey, Tim, you should start sharing this stuff. You should start putting it out there. And so I said, sure, but I can't let it actually impact how much time I put into it because honestly, I'm making enough money doing it what I'm doing right now that I don't want to waste time editing and throwing it up like that. So I said, let's just throw a camera on and let's just live stream what we're doing anyway. And maybe we can teach people a thing or two. Maybe they can learn and make some money. I got to find these here in the back over here. And so that's what I do every day. I'm going to change the time starting tomorrow. It's 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time is when I start the streams. And we go until about an hour 15 minutes usually before I have to break. But today I do get to do a marathon and keep going. And I just show people exactly what we're picking up. These are my Tony Llamas. So glad you're here. I'm glad you popped into the channel. We're on a 30 stream experiment. Yeah, sure thing. Sure thing. No problem to respond. 30 stream experiment. And once you get to that 30, I'll decide if I want to keep rolling these or not. I've had a lot of people tell me it's helpful. A lot of people tell me they're throwing it on in the background when they're working. And then they can also, peek up every once in a while like a podcast and kind of see, okay, what is this item that he's selling or this, that, the other. So feel free to hang out. Thanks for throwing something in the chat. It's always good when people pop in and say something. Do you resell too? Are you a reseller? Or you just kind of browsing around YouTube stuff? I've found a few people that have found the content that don't resell. They're not on eBay, but they're just like, huh, this is interesting. So, and if you are a reseller, what do you sell? How was your weekend of sales? All right, 20 by 14 by 6. Again, we took a low offer on these. I wanted to move them. I want to say I had them for 40 something, but I'm taking all the offers. I want to get the money. I don't want to wait. Don't want to wait. I gotta buy some more stuff. We did not perforate this batch very good. Get those in there. I do throw the Tony Llamas and stuff in boxes when they're more like this. These ones I might have thrown in a bag. They're kind of beat up, but just habit at this point. There's my packing slip. I used to stream on Twitch back in the day. I say back in the day, it was probably, I'm 34 years old. Did it in my 20s. I streamed a little bit of Magic the Gathering, and so I'm used to that kind of a setup. And it translated over to YouTube pretty well. I actually thought about throwing this stream on Twitch. Just seeing what kind of response we got, but I think most of the reselling community is over here on YouTube. 20 by 14 by 6, 5 pounds. And get this out of here. Yes, if you're popping in for the first time, like Tabe Ellick, or anybody else who maybe is popping in for the first time and seeing this guy who's packing these things and talking about stuff he's selling on eBay, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear. Just throw something in the chat. Let me know you're here. Even if you just say hi, watching, enjoying it. Hi, you look terrible without your beard. Hi, you told me to do this, so I'm doing it. It helps me just know who's kind of popping in. It also helps with the engagement on the algorithm, because then it says, hey, people are actually like talking in this thing. We're going to throw some more people in. And the more people, the more responses we can get, the more people we can maybe help or maybe talk about your business, what's going on. And it's a great thing to learn from each other, because I definitely don't know everything. I don't know everything. I am not a guru of this trade. I am not, April 11th, I'm not a guru in this game. I'm just a guy selling stuff out of his shop, making a living. I was a teacher for 10 years, that I can make a lot more money doing the eBay thing. And here we are. So what are we doing? We need to get more envelopes. I ran out of my big padded. This is a Bible that I sell. I probably sell like 10 of these a year. I sell quite a few of these. I'll grab it whenever I see it. It's the Way, the Living Bible. They're nothing crazy, you know. This is always just beer money. It's a quick little pack. You throw it in the bubble and you're good to go. They usually sell for about $12, $12 to $15. This one had some water damage on the first page, so I did price it low, and we got $9. But for a very quick, easy pack that we're gonna make about $6 on after everything's said and done, I will gladly throw these in the cart, because they're super easy to list, super easy to ship. It's not a $200 pair of boots, but not bad money. All right, $3. Ship it. $2 to ship it, 3 pounds. And medium mail. All right, these are always harder to read on my display, because I know it. Actually, no, not this one. This one you should be able to see just fine. Some of my retail arbitrage comes across funky when it's multi-quantity. This is a Hallmark. I say it every time I ship one of these out, that I don't look for these at garage sales. I don't look for these at estate sales. They're very nuanced and usually take forever and not a lot of money in Hallmark. But I have a liquidation contact. I get them new, and so I can process a lot at the same time. And then every once in a while, you get a decent one that sells for 20, 30 bucks like this. I did take a $20 offer on the Daniel Tiger. Reading is fun. Yeah, my kids were super into Daniel Tiger. They're 9 and 7 now, so they're not into it anymore. But man, Daniel Tiger, that was slapping back in the day. We watched a lot of Daniel Tiger. 2-6 box 2. 2-6 box. Now we've moved on. We're almost through the bluey phase. There it is. But bluey is still good. Bluey transcends generation. And now we're in the, what are they into? My daughter loves Tom and Jerry. The old Tom and Jerry's is her thing. Trying to get her into Wile E. Coyote now. It's basically the same structure as Tom and Jerry. Daniel Tiger was their show back about, 5 years ago. I think it's still around. 6x3, 8 ounce. And now with the little ornament. Hopefully things are opening up wherever you guys are at. For me, things just like this is the first weekend I can say, okay, garage sale season is here. Like we are finally at a point where people want to start putting stuff out. They want to start getting rid of stuff. And the sales are on. So I usually can stay busy here till about 1, 2 p.m. Like I'm not in a big area where people can, some people, you could just go to garage sales all day and you know, always have enough to do. But for me, I'm in an area of about 50,000 people. So I'm always scouting on the weekends, trying to hit all of them. And I usually do hit all of them. But this is the first weekend I said that, or I noticed that people are actually getting their stuff out there, trying to sell a thing or two. A lot of estates are cleaning out. A lot of people are realizing now's the time. So things are picking up here. Another little bins pickup, just an old book, you know, $11.95. Whenever I can throw it in for $1 and I know I'm going to get that out of it, I'll pick them up. Little bread and butter beer money. I try to get about $20 profit for any item I do try to list. But when it's media, it's a different story because, you know, media, you're listing tons. You know, with the AI listing, especially, you can get 50, 100 up in an hour. Like you're just doing the photos. I will play a different game with media than, you know, I'm trying not to sell shoes or things for $11.95. Pricer says, in my area, the biggest garage sale is Thursday. Next day is Saturday, and Friday's hit or miss. I noticed that too. In different areas, the sales start in different days. So I have relatives down in Nebraska, and we visited them one year. I was very excited. I'm like, oh, sweet. We're going to get in on like a Thursday night. That means I'm going to have Friday, Saturday, and then maybe even Sunday to hit some sales. Friday's going to be awesome. Friday's always the best day. But no, just like wherever you're at, Pricers, they down there, they start on Friday, or they start on Thursdays. Pretty much every sale starts on Thursdays. So Friday was just terrible. Like I remember going down there and thinking, oh, sweet. Oh, wait, I got a text. I mean, if you want to be on stream, I said, come on by if you want to be on the stream. I got someone can bring him by something. I have no idea what he's bringing by. Ultra. Oh, 1 o'clock is good. So middle of Ohio. Yeah, I think it's a Midwest thing. I think a lot of the Midwest starts on Thursdays rather than the Friday sales. But here, you don't get out on a Friday, you're not getting out. And if you go out on a Thursday, nobody's doing sales. I'll say there's once in a blue moon, there's some Thursday sales. So, all right, we got some zero drop ultras. These guys, I'm gonna throw in a bag here quick. These guys made it to the bins after they tried to sell them in store for 20 bucks. So I got them for 2. And obviously, no, you know, they sold for 30. Unless someone's looking for this exact pair at the Goodwill or at the store, you know, you're not gonna get them for 20. We're gonna get them for about $2 because they hit the bins. So that's why even with the writing on the bottom, they say 20 bucks on the bottom, someone's still happy to pay. I need to go 1 size up on my bag because they're men's, they're pretty big. So I can't pay 20 bucks at the store, sell them for 30, but I can pay $2 at the bins. sell them for 30. Yeah, that is one thing I'm jealous of. We don't have a lot of competition here, if I'm being honest. We like I always get mad at people when they say, "Oh, you don't have anybody to compete with." Like, yeah, we do have competition. It's the same people, and they're actually not bad at what they do, but it's not like crazy like some areas. But the disadvantage of not having 1,000 resellers descending on every single sale is that we don't have a lot of sales. So the ones we have to make count. We'll see what happens this year. I'm playing with the idea too of maybe doing storage lockers, maybe putting estate cleaning services out there so I can kind of clean up the leftovers, maybe selling at our local flea market. We have a flea market. It's not really a flea market, but at least it'd be a place to set up and maybe sell some stuff. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm always dreaming. I'm always trying to push into new directions, but it's so hard to push into new directions when the so hard to push in new directions when, I mean, we're looking at almost $250,000 in sales. Doing it this way, why would I change? Because I can move it to $500,000. I could. More work. I try to get writing off. Guess I don't need to. I'm missing that comment, Leslie. Could you help me out a little bit? Or Les T. I'm going to start calling you Les T. Even though I know your name. Start calling you Les T. I try to get writing off. I guess I don't need to. Not sure what you mean there. But this is going 14 by 6 by 6. Oh, price on bottom. Oh, I don't care. No. Okay, so she's referring to the writing on the bottom of the shoes. Yes, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. So for the longest time, now there's exceptions. Okay, there's exceptions. And probably if you're doing like women's shoes or fashion boots or things like that, sure, like people are going to care. But everybody knows, most people know at this point, you're buying it from a thrift store. Everybody knows, like, you're buying it secondhand, you're buying it to resell. Like, the price tag on the bottom of the shoes does not matter. It's on the sole. They're going to walk on it anyway, you know? Like, everybody knows the game that's happening. And so it doesn't really affect the value. So I just leave all the writing on there. Especially if it's like work boots, they're not going to care. If it's like a running pair like this, they're not going to care. They just want to have a good usable pair of shoes. And honestly, on this one, it almost helps me out because I paid $2 for it, but it says 20. So maybe they're thinking, oh, they did $20 for it. Maybe I can get it from 30. You know, like, sure, you can have it for 30. I paid 2. So, but like a nice pair of fashion boots. Ari Mike, good to have you in the house. He says, looks like you got every haircut. Yes, I did get every haircut. Good to have you here, Artie Mike. Yeah, we cut every hair. This thing disappears in the summer, and my wife was getting tired of it. So I said, all right, it's finally time to cut it, and we just got rid of everything. So I cut the top, I cut this, and now I can just forget about it for a while. So good to have you here, Artie Mike. Hope your sales are going good. Hope your store is going well. You sell anything cool this weekend? I'd love to know. And so Leslie, so 4,915. Oh, I got to get the next up here. So Leslie, if it's a nice expensive pair, yes, I will get the writing off the bottom. But for the most part, it's not worth your time. I'm going to make a lot more money just getting more listings up than getting every single writing off of those pairs. I forgot my SKU already because I was talking. Got me distracted. Thanks for distracting me. Please keep distracting me. Oh, I was right. 4,915. There we go. What are your cost of goods? I do not keep a calculation of continual cost of goods like an average cost of goods. But I know what everything is I paid for. Like, for instance, this I paid $2 at a garage sale. $1 at a garage sale, actually. It was a lady getting rid of moving out of state. But I would say that on average, if I had to make a good guess, I'm like $5 or less for pairs of shoes, usually 10 to 15 or less for pairs of boots. But I will pay up, of course, for things, for the right stuff. But no, I don't keep a calculated average cost of goods. I just do cash in, cash out at the end of a garage sale day, and then I don't bother doing the math of like dividing by this number and that number and figuring out what exactly my cost of goods is. But if it's something I'll sell for 500, I'll pay a couple $100. If it's something I'll sell for $10, then I better be getting it free or less than $1, because of the time invested there. 10 by 8 by 4. Pounds 10 by 8 by 4. There we go. But you know, we're projecting about $200 to $250,000 worth of sales, and I'm not going to go exactly the exact numbers of what I'm going to make off of all that, but I'll just tell you it's around 50%, right? So you can do the math. If we're doing a couple $100,000 in sales and we're doing about 50% margins, it's not a bad living, at least better than I was as a teacher. I'm making more than I was in the teaching classroom. Oh, we're gonna go My Little Pony, mixed bundle of 19 figures. So this person messaged me. I might wait on these. I'm gonna probably pack these up later. I got to do a little bit more math and take a little more time because they want me to put these together. And I think that this book set's even inside my house. I have to go get this set. But they messaged me randomly. They're like, "Hey, can I buy this and this together, the books and the ponies?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, you can buy the books and the ponies together, and I'll kick you back some shipping savings." Even though the books would have gone media, I don't even care. You know, I'm going to give them a discount so I can move both of these. My Little Ponies paid $6 at a garage sale for a bag. Whiffed on the bag. I thought maybe some of the vintage ones I could have done a little better on, but I'm better off just lotting them up, making, 20 bucks. And then these have been sitting forever. Probably a bins pickup I got, so it's going to be less than, $1 or $2 for all of them, the way I pay. So, we're talking about $10 into about 30. So nothing crazy, but I got to do the math on that and pack those up later. Plus, I got to get into my house to do this. So I'm going to skip those for the stream. Burlington Northern Montana Division Glacier National Park train photo book. I would have listed a little higher. This is the only one ever sold. Okay, so there's never been one sold, but there's ones like it. So I listed it correctly, put all the right keywords. We got $22 out of it. March 27th, so it took a couple weeks. And I would have sold it for more, but it's literally got pages falling out of it. It's kind of unglued in different spots. So we listed it low to make sure it was going to move. And they'll be happy to get it because they're just looking at the photos more than anything. Got some cool train photos and things in there. Oops, wrong envelope. Am I out of my small ones? Got my small ones. So for stuff like this, I just slip in a cardboard mailer. That off. But yeah, when you do an inventory and you carry inventory over year to year and do your accounting as the accrual method, again, not an accountant, I want to throw that out there. But if you're using accrual method and keeping an inventory, you do need to know your cost of goods year to year so that you can carry that inventory and do your accounting correctly. I use the cash-based method, so I don't carry an inventory. Again, not an accountant, not tax advice. But because of that, 13 by 9 by 1, because of that, I don't keep an exact cost of goods measurement. I just keep what is the cash out and what is the cash in for the business. But on something like this, I'm less than $1 into this one. Oh, and that is going international. So someone wanted that internationally. Love the global shipping program. Let's check this out. I see. I'm trying to learn how to navigate YouTube better because I think I can actually see who's all in here at any given time, and I'm really curious. So it says that we've got quite a few people that have tuned in. We've got probably 30 people or so that have kind of popped in and out. And we got 4 or 5 people watching right now. So that's interesting. It's kind of cool to see. I get most of the activity here on the replays. A lot of people turn this stuff on and just kind of list in the background, treat it more like a podcast. So if you're here, thanks for popping in. Glad you're here. I'm just still trying to learn the YouTube game. Been reselling for forever, but been a baby YouTuber now. This is week 3 or 4. We're on the 18th stream out of 30 that we've committed to. And we'll probably do more than that. I am enjoying it and meeting some cool people along the way. Oops. Hollywood Undead, notes from the underground. Whenever you see this parent advisory explicit content, that's a good sign. So it's, it's like a rap CD. It's going to be probably a little more popular, a little more fringe. So this one was new and sealed. And usually you get 30 bucks out of it, but it had case cracking on the inside. And so even though the comps were around 30 bucks, I priced it low because it's cracked and everything. So the disc should be super clean for this person. They got 18 bucks and it was a bins pickup. I'm always looking for that little label that says parent advisory explicit content because there's usually more money in that stuff. And of course, would I let my kids listen to it? No. Do I listen to it? No. But, it's for somebody else. They probably enjoy that kind of thing. I don't know anything about this group. I don't know anything about the is it heavy metal? Is it rap? I don't even know. But all I know is I know how to use a scanner, and I know how to find things that are valuable. So I don't need to know what it is. I just need to be able to sell it. But there are lines. I won't sell anything illegal. I usually avoid anything with scantily clad women or not clad women or men for that matter. I'm not discriminatory. But there are some things I just don't sell, but I will sell the rap music like that. Orvis boots. These I took on offer. I want to say I got 35 bucks out of them. They've been sitting for a little bit, 2 or 3 months. It is a repeat buyer. I want to say this guy has a booth. I think this buyer has some kind of a booth, and he's going to make more money on them because this Orvis does pretty well. I think this guy's bought like 20 pairs of boots for me in one shot before, and I'm happy to move him. I'm happy to get some money. Orvis boots. Let's grab these guys. Oh, friends, we have a buyer issue, but I'm going to deal with that later. Orvis boots. Excuse me. But I'm always happy to ship boots or whatever on, or clothing, or tiddlywinks to the next person for them to make some money. Orvis boots 1/6/16. In fact, one time, where are you? I got to get my head screwed on straight, and then I'll tell my story. One time, I had the Orvis boots that are right here. Are you Orvis? Yes, you're Orvis. Made in USA. These are the good ones. Probably could have got some more money from these, but happy for them to make some money. 13. Oh, 9.5D, genuine, biker. Yep, these are them. So one time I found from a storage locker contact a big old pile of boots. I paid 75 bucks for. 75 bucks for this huge pile. They were moldy. They were disgusting. They were like, scrap leather. They were selling them for someone to craft. And I said, hold up, dude. I know him. So I actually said, hey, can I come and grab these? He's like, yeah, I got 2 people in line, but you can come first because I like you. So relationships matter, people. And so I came in. I picked them all up for, actually, I didn't even pick them all up. He let me pick and choose. I still paid him 75 bucks and got just the ones that weren't just like destroyed. Oh no, I have to go up in my box size. I don't love that. Always an awkward size to do because these don't fit the right 16 by 12 by 8. We'll just throw them in there. But anyway, I grab the best pairs that I could find. And we got a couple pairs of fries. We got some Miss Caprizio, I believe is the vintage women's brand. We got some more, some other vintage ones. You know, sold the pairs of fries for, you know, $100 each, and got some good Tony Lamas, things like that. And then there were some that just had no brand. They were no good for me. But I know this lovely person who has a booth, and she crushes it with the boots, even if they don't have a brand, even if they're a little more obscure. If they're the right kind, she can make some good money on them. So I tossed them her way. And I think it was $100. I think I got $100 for the rest of the pile. And I was in it for 75, so I'm already making money. And I made money on the ones I sold. And then, to my joy, I get a text from her saying, hey, did you see these ones? And one of the pairs I sent her was like a vintage pair of fries. I was worth around $300. And I said, nope, totally missed those. Congratulations. That's awesome. And so I was very happy for her to make money because she took the 2 seconds to Google Lens it. It's a nice campus style boot. And I love the circle of life in reselling because the storage locker guy is happy to get the moldy boots all out of his truck. I'm happy to make, $300 or so. And then she's happy to make money on her end too from ones that I missed. And normally I wouldn't miss those. I was just moving fast, so. Les T, yes, you are welcome, Les T. Yes, yes, yes. My lovely booth contacts. I love my booth contacts. I use them all the time. So I'll even tell people I'm at garage sales and stuff. And they'll say like, so what kind of things do you buy? This, that, and the other. And I'll tell them, I'll just be like, hey, you know, I resell, I do eBay, Amazon full-time to support my family. I usually do a lot of media. I usually do a lot of, you know, old video games, workwear, boots, things like that. I'll give my whole spiel. And I'll say, but I know a lot of people who maybe have booths in town. I know a lot of people you know, who sell all sorts of different things. So I can buy a lot of stuff because, you know, sometimes I'm passing it on to somebody else. And then that gets my foot in the door for a lot of deals because truthfully, there's a lot of things that I can pick up for other people because maybe it's in their wheelhouse, but not in my wheelhouse. Because the rest of the booths, you know, minus the fries that this gal made, or Les T, because she's in the channel right now, that this person made, you know, hundreds of dollars off of, like, there's all the other stuff in that I can't move. You know, I can't move through eBay, but she can move in her booth. And that's something I'm not set up for and I'm not going to deal with. So I'm happy to pass it on to somebody else. Let them make some money and I'll make some money in the same deal. The Fickle Fox sells good. Hey, what's up, Fickle Fox? I know you. I know that name. Fickle Fox. Oh, that's I know who you are. Okay. I know who you are now. I don't out people with their actual names, but good to see you, Fickle Fox. I'm glad you made it to the channel. I'm glad you're here for the first time. And yes, I did get a haircut. I got them all cut, as people have already told me this morning. Montana in the making, Abbott revised, April. Let's go find this. But yes, my wife finally got tired of it. And she will never tell me to cut my hair. She'll be like, oh, honey, you just do what you want. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. It's your hair. But I know. I know what she actually wants. So she wanted it gone. And I don't care. I truthfully don't care. Oh, goodness. This is an old one. This is probably in the house, actually. This is old enough that I think I need to go inside to get it. So I'm going to actually skip ahead to the next pack. That one, I'll double check one more time. But yes, good morning, Fickle Fox. Good to have you here. I should have done it live. I should have done it live. That would have been fun. And messy. All right, we got some Sorels. Let's get these guys packed up because I'm going to have to go inside to get that one. So we're going to go ahead and skip it for now. Sorel sandals, these nice slide wedge sandals. I pick up the Sorels when they're clean. They honestly have been hitting way less than they used to. These ones are just going to get thrown in a bag and be on their way. Listed back in January. So January, let's go find these. But yes, honestly, I'm probably not picking these ones up much anymore. I'm passing them on to other people that do this kind of stuff just because I'd rather just be selling boots, getting a higher ASP. But let's see, I'm losing my mind. January 19th, losing my mind today. Should be right here. There they are. Hello, thrills. All right, we're gonna get these in this bag. Send them on their way. Pickle Fox, how was your day, or how was your weekend of sales? You have a good weekend of sales? It was pretty average over here, and I like average. If I do average, I'm doing all right. Listing 12 a day, selling about 12 a day. Hopefully it was good for you. We're coming up to the tail end of this stream. I got to get myself to the bins here soon. I got to get listing. I got a lot of stuff we pulled in from garage sales. Picked up my ever Saint Laurent. I don't know how you say that. Saint Laurent, the French brand. A nice blazer. First one I've ever found out here. That sales this weekend. Should do okay. It's nothing crazy. It's not a huge desirable style. But I've never found that, just like I've never found Purple Label. All right, those we'll have to do just like that. We got 11 by 5 pound rate. I'm loving the rain. I hope it doesn't pick up too much on my mic. I'm in a nice tin building, and it's just so relaxing. Whenever I'm working out here, I'll have this rain going, and it's just like this lovely white noise in the background. But I do know that my mic might pick that up, so sorry if it is picking that up. All right, where are we at? We got another game. This one goes for more like 30 bucks, but it had a crack in the case. Because it has a crack in the case, it's a low dollar game. I normally throw it in a box or a bag, but this one's just going to get going in a box. Terminator, Super Nintendo. Let's get this guy out. But cracks don't matter on the nicer games like this. Someone is buying this for practical reasons to actually play the game. And as long as the card is intact, it's all good. But if it's more of a, if they're buying it, of course, for collectible purposes, or it's a lower dollar game, you know, this is normally a $30 game, so it's not really lower dollar. I'll still grab them or list them. It was a lot that I picked up, and we've already probably done really well on this lot. Beautiful. 9 by 6 by 3, and at the 9-ounce rate. Popeyes, man, we're getting everybody in this Monday morning. It's been a great morning. Thanks for popping in, Popeyes. You lose the bet or just an annual shedding? It's an annual shedding. It's the annual shedding that finally came. My wife was getting tired of it. Frankly, I was kind of getting a little tired of it too. I shave it once a year. I think I said that in an earlier stream. I was joking. I joked at some point. Yeah, that's right. I joked. I said I was going to shave it at 500 subs, but The reality is I just shave it when my wife tells me to or when I get tired of it. And then we'll grow it again during hunting season. So it'll come back to life around October. Good to have you here, Popeyes. Hope things were good for you. Hope you had a good weekend of sales too. This one I can't show on stream because it came during the live. So it's a Patagonia feather shoes for women. Got 21 bucks for these. And we'll get these packed up too. But since I don't preload it, I can't show the comp, but it was $21 on these. They're Mary Jane Patagonias. 3, 4 is when they were listed. Let's find them. Yes, it was time to shed the fur. I like that, the annual shedding of the fur. Every year I joke about maybe I'll do the Fu Manchu or something for a while. I'll like kind of shave it down, but I never have. That'd be fun too. All right, we got some Patagonias. I'll throw them in a box for them. They're kind of nice shape. They're women's, they'll appreciate that. Popeyes is saying more stuff. Yep, decent weekend. Sold about 55 pounds of postcards on Whatnot. Way to crush it. You do really well on that Whatnot machine. That is incredible. There's a gal I've met at our bins here that she does Whatnot too. That's her main source of income. Just doing home goods, home decor. It's amazing what you can move over there, I guess. Stuff that wouldn't have a prayer on eBay is going for, you know, $3 to $5 and just bringing in the cash. So good to hear you're doing well on the Whatnot machine too. People have tried to convince me to go over there and I've yet to take the jump. We'll take it one new platform at a time. Once I get this whole YouTube thing down pat, maybe we'll hop on the Whatnot machine also. All right, there we go. That's incredible. There we go. Yeah, Mondays have been a marathon around here because I usually have 30 plus going out. And of course, they're never easy packs. It's just a lot of taping, a lot of boxing stuff up. We sold a Vitamix for 180 bucks. So that was probably the best on our weekend, was a Vitamix for 180 that we got for $5 at the garage sale. Out of here. What's that Vitamix? Here. There it is. That was our crown jewel this weekend, but a lot of bread and butter, a lot of things just keeping the lights on. But that, I believe, is going to be our last pack here today. Looks like that was the last one came in. I got to grab some things from in the house to pack, so I'm not going to do them on stream. But thanks everybody for popping in. Thanks for coming by the channel again today. We've had a lot of new people, a lot of people coming in from different places and saying they're enjoying having this as maybe some background noise, maybe like a podcast kind of a feel on the replays. We are changing the time for the lives. So if you have not had a chance to get into a live, I'd love to see you if you ever have a morning free. It is 8 o'clock. We're going to start doing these at 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, whatever that converts to you. So from right now, it's an hour before this. That's backing up a little bit from what we used to do. And we're going to also change the format to be done in an hour and an hour, 10 minutes tops. So the way we're going to do it, most of these streams have been about 50 minutes long. We're going to go ahead and start at 8, and then by 9:10 on Mountain Standard Time, regardless of where we're at, I'll show the rest of the packs, kind of talk about what we picked up, and we'll close it out. I found that the marathons are kind of nice. People like, we've gotten a lot more people maybe in the marathons like this, but the tricky thing is, for me, is that I got kids to take care of in the middle of it, and that 8 o'clock is going to help me with their schedule so that I can actually do this thing without interruption like we had today. And then that hard cutoff time and that hard start time, I think, is going to help people too if other people want to hop into the lives, because it is kind of tricky when we're starting, you know, here or there or whatever. And that's just part of learning this game. That's part of just trying it. You know, we just turned the camera on and went for it, as Popeyes would say. And so now here we are. So I'm also hoping to do a little more shout outs there on Facebook or Instagram, things like that, and try to get a few more people in the channel. Because now we're finding a groove and we're having some fun. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you had a good weekend of sales, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.